recently, if we look at what happened with coronavirus and COVID, the pandemic, have you followed the what is that the Event 201? Have you followed anything with the Event 201? Mm-hmm. You followed Event 201. Yeah. So if you want to pull up Event 201, just pull it up on Google. And I'm curious to know what you're going to say about this. So Event 201 is hosted by World Economic Forum. This is public info. This is not a conspiracy theory or anything like that. This is just something everybody knows about. So Event 201 was hosted. This was in October of 2018, okay? October of 2018, the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, in partnership with the World Economic Forum and the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation, hosted an Event 201, a high-level pandemic exercise on October 18th, my birthday, 2019, in New York. The exercise illustrated areas where public-private partnerships will be necessary during the response to a severe pandemic in order to diminish large-scale economic and societal consequences. This is October 18th.
Look at the suggestions.
2 months later, the pandemic happens.
Look at the suggestions.
Can you you're on Google?
Yeah. Let me. What do you mean the suggestions?
Well, I don't want to bog down the podcast, but if they go one step further, they gave suggestions from their report, and it was to censor social media, not allow Discord,
everything that happened the last 2 years.
Can you all right, on Google? Go ahead and Google. I want you to type in "Are we ready?" No, not rare. Are we? Almost.
Hi, buddy, come on.
Are we ready? My name, Matt Zeller, and then the word Syracuse. Okay, yeah. No, go back up to Are we ready? Syracuse.
My Nightmare, the experiment?
No, take my name out of it. Put Are we ready? And then actually take my name out of it, sorry, and put Strategic National Stockpile.
To circle back to what you were saying while we're waiting.
Yeah.
I think you're
right.
right.
There you go. Right there. Thanks.
Gerard, hang on one second.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my master's thesis.
Yeah.
Go ahead and scroll down. Take a look at the date.
06.
All right. So in 2006, this team and I were hired by the United States House of Representatives on the Committee on Homeland Security to evaluate, at that point, the pandemic influenza response plan for the United States and to poke holes in it and to see whether or not it would work. And what we learned was that if a pandemic ever hit this country, we were well and truly fucked. Is what we had learned. So we wrote this report. And in our report, we didn't choose a SARS COVID type virus. We choose something that was actually scarier, which is H5N1. So H5N1 is a bird flu that has a higher lethality than Ebola. And if it ever actually became airborne and was easily transmissible, it would be like what the movie Contagion portrays. Like it would wipe most of us out. We wrote it based on this. The idea is that H5N1 arrives in the United States via a flight coming in from Asia, and within 48 hours is everywhere. And then through this report, all the recommendations in this were actually ended up being enacted into law by Congress. One of the things that we proposed was regular practical exercises, teaming up private industry, like you just saw, the 201 exercise, on a regular scale to try to get government and private industry to begin thinking about how to work through pandemics. So, I don't think that those types of events happened all the time.
Yeah, but let me go back to my point here. So this is, you guys just jumped in and went to a bunch of different directions. Let's stay focused for a second. I'm trying to ask a question from you because I want to know what you're going to do. My biggest concern is anticipation of what's coming next, because COVID ruined people's lives the last 2 years. I think that's absolutely, both sides would agree, whether it's school, education, kids.
Oh, God.
We don't even know the side effects of it for a long time with youth on what happened to them.
Right. I mean, like, my daughter is home for a year and a half.
9-year-old, the 2012.
9-year-old. What does that do to their development?
In New York, you're saying.
Yeah. No, Virginia.
And in addition to that, she's been conditioned now to see every single human being as a potential threat to her well-being.
It's very interesting you say that. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't know what that feels like. We don't know what the side effects of that is.
We have no idea. What do you do with a kindergartner?
Exactly.
You know,
and now California just announced it. And anyways, California announced yesterday they're getting rid of LAUSD. They're getting rid of Fs and Ds. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting rid of Fs and Ds in
And
California.
they're going back to indoor mask mandates.
Yeah. But here's where I'm going to. So I'm looking at World Economic Forum. I'm like, okay, so you guys did this October 18, 2019. 2 months later, the pandemic hits. It's kind of weird. A lot of the stuff you guys talked about. Okay, let me put the hat on of being a little bit skeptic. recently, they had another one. I don't know if you saw the simulation that they did. So have you heard of Cyber Polygon? Have you heard about the Cyber Polygon being ran by World Economic Forum?
I know of it, yeah.
Okay, pull that up, Cyber Polygon, so we can look at that. So Cyber Polygon, if you want to pull up, that's not the first one. There's another one you can go to. Cyber Polygon is a project that they're doing. Same thing again. They're testing to see what would happen if there's a cyber pandemic. So they're calling now the cyber pandemic. So Cyber Polygon, these days, as a disaggregation gathering, in this environment, the best strategy to safeguard our futures, to build up the right skills and understand the risks involved. This is why Cyber Polygon 2021 was dedicated to secure ecosystem development.
Pat, if I can for a minute, just so people know, the World Economic Forum is not elected bureaucracy. It is a non-government organization.
Yes.
Just like the World Health Organization.
Exactly.
So they have these great names as if they're like the UN, as if this is some sort of elected politicians, as if this is some sort of collaboration of world leaders. It is not. It is a non-governmental organization. This is an international lobbying group that has just amassed so much control over our planet. I mean, the control that the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization have over our public policy is insane, to a degree where sometimes it feels like they're leading our public policy. But they are not elected officials. These are not politicians. These are not people that are representative of any people of any government. It's a very, very dangerous group. But anyway, go ahead.
So they just had a meeting and they did a simulation. If you want to go to the simulation that we can read, this is Reuters article. Go to the next one. By the way, these guys met in July of this year, which is quite scary because every time these guys get together and no, you just had it. IMF, the Israel. Tyler, you just had it up.
Yeah, I X'd out. Just give me one second.
Oh, okay. Just type in IMF Israel. Type in Israel. Okay, there you go. Okay. So exclusive IMF, 10 countries simulate cyber attack on global financial system. Okay. And this thing lasted like 3.5 hours. If you want to go up a little bit. So Jerusalem, December 9th, Reuters, Israel on Thursday led a 10-country simulation on a major attack on the global financial systems in an attempt to increase cooperation that could help to minimize any potential damages to financial markets and banks. The simulated war game, and as Israel's finance minister called it, and planned over the past year, evolved over 10 days with sensitive data emerging on the dark web. With the simulation also used fake news reports that in the scenario caused chaos in global markets and a run on banks. If you can go a little lower, the simulation, likely caused by what officials call sophisticated players, features several types of attacks that impact the global foreign exchange and bond markets, liquidity, integrity of data and transactions between imposters and exporters. These events are creating havoc in the financial markets, said a narrator of a film shown. So it's 5.5 hours that you can watch this. Steve Wozniak is in it. Some of the most powerful people in the world are in it, right? Do you know what they're saying would happen if this was actually to take place? Power shutdown. You don't have power, no AC, no phone, no internet, no nothing.
We've already seen it.
Banking system. And we've seen it in countries.
It was called Superstorm Sandy.
Yeah.
If you lived in New York, the power went down. There were no ATMs. There were no credit cards. You couldn't buy gas.
How long
No,
did that last?
you could buy gas, but it was $30 a gallon.
Yeah, and you had to pay in cash,
That's
right?
right.
And if you didn't have cash, good luck. It was a week.
Week.
And it was chaos.
Okay, how bad? Unpack the chaos. Unpack it.
I lived through it. I was there.
Unpack it.
It was, I mean, they had to call in the National Guard. It was that bad.
What I'm saying is people who didn't live there, they don't know. Unpack it.
You couldn't, like, imagine you need food, right? So right now you go down to, like, the grocery store, you pay with your card, right? There's no card. Your card doesn't work. So, okay, you got to get cash. Well, the ATMs are out of cash and they don't have power to begin with. So how do you buy food? You're hungry.
What did you guys do? Like
I was working for Christie.
You were working for Chris Christie at the time. So what did you do?
I wasn't there. I wasn't in New York.
Okay.
I had friends who would tell me that they would literally they had like rations. Once you eat through your rations.
What happened was capitalism.
Yeah.
People came from other states.
Yeah.
Some people volunteered. Other people put a whole bunch of gas in their pickup truck from Pennsylvania, went down to Jersey Shore and was like, I got gallons of gas for $30. And then there was this whole thing and the price gouging and the legality of it.
But people would fight over ATMs. Like when an ATM was like working and spitting out cash,
yeah.
They were like fist fights they would get into.
Big
because
time. Do you know what the wildest thing was? Chinese restaurants delivered.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
People were ordering, and not everything was closed down, but Chinese restaurants would deliver during the hurricane.
So
it was
here's
crazy.
the thing. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.